Hey guys, I wanted to share this card with you. This is really one of my favorite ones ever that I've ever made. And I used a technique that I showed you a video several months ago using tissue paper. This was the card that I shared during that video. And these leaves were done with tissue paper. And this leaf is the same is that, but this part, the little frame from the citrus blooms, I did it a little differently. So I wanted to share that with you, and I have some other cards to show you as well. So we're gonna get started. This is a messy process, but it's really fun, and you can just, like I said, I'm gonna show you other things. You can create so many things with it. Okay, the colors I used on this one was lemon lime, garden green, old olive, peach pie, Cajun craze, and daffodil delight. I'm going to do it a little differently for this video. I want to add some red in there, make it look, a little different. So let's get started. Okay, I shared this with you on the last video, my other tissue paper video, and this is a cutting board with a page protector over it, and I have just a piece of basic white in there. Just so I can see when I put all the color down. I have links to all this on my site under shop, under must-haves for crafting. So, okay, so I have that. I like to have a really hard, steady surface when I'm doing this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the greens. Let's see. I think I'm just going to use old olive. Well, let's see. This is all new to me. I'm still going to use lemon lime twist. All right. Garden green. Oh, my garden green is pretty empty. I think I need to re-ink that. Look at that. It's really empty. All right. Close those up. I guess I should move my card out of the way so it doesn't become ruined. All right, so what I got here, obviously, is tissue paper. And I have a link to this, too. I found this. This is perfect size. It says it's like 8 by 11 or something. It's not really. It's a little smaller than that. But it's a big pack of tissue paper, and it's all white. So that's what I wanted, because you can use colored tissue paper for other things too. All right, so here's my spritzer with just water, and okay, you don't want to use a whole lot of water because then your tissue paper is more likely to tear. All right. Okay, and obviously you want the color to be everywhere, but I didn't go crazy with my ink pads and the water and everything because I'm going to add other colors to it. If you're using similar colors, you put them all together. But what I plan on using on this is what I just used: garden green, lemon lime. I'm going to use real red. I'm going to use poppy parade. I'm going to use lemon lolly and daffodil. If I put all of those on there and then you spray the water and you mix them together, it's going to turn brown. All right, so I'm going to be very careful, peel that off, and I'm going to let it dry. All right. It can take a few minutes to dry. And this right here, you can just use baby wipes, or I have baby wipes on my other surface, and a lot of times I just take this to my sink and rinse it off. baby wipes. Look at that. Okay, so it's almost dry. There's not a whole lot on there, so that helps too. All right, so bring this back over. I'm gonna go with the yellow this time. Lemon Lolly. Oh, I love that color. Yeah, I need to ink this up too. Okay, here we go. Okay. Like I said, you got to be really careful because it really likes to tear. Still have some white spots on there and only have one more color to go, but pretty cute. Like I said, I have I have one that I use as my full background, so you can do that. And yeah, I'm excited to show you the other cards. It's one of those things, I have been so busy lately. I mean, I don't know if you know, I had hundreds of things for sale on eBay. I still have quite a few on there, but I had so many. And selling on eBay is a lot of work. And so I had that, and hey, if you like clothes, I got a ton of clothes on Poshmark too. That's not nearly as much work as selling crafting stuff on eBay, but just been very, very busy. So, and all of a sudden I was like, I want to do that. I want to do a tissue paper thing again. And I just came up with 400 ideas. So, all right, so we're going to let that dry. Looks good. We're going to add some red to it. Okay, so I'm going to put some red in. I'm going to put it everywhere. See if we can get all the white out of there. I changed my mind. I was going to use Poppy Parade, but I'm going to do Flirty Flamingo instead. Just to see. Oh, still got some green on here. All right. Oh my gosh, that needs to be re-inked too. This is crazy. I mean, yeah, it's I just need to leave these out. It used to be like, I've been doing this for a long time, and you hardly ever had to re-ink your ink pads. But now that there's blending brushes and this kind of stuff, and brayers and everything, it's like I run out of ink a lot quicker. All right, just use this different one. All right, that's got color everywhere, so I hope it will help with this. spot in the middle. See if I can get some of it. There we go. There's some of it. No, there's, let's see. Being very, very careful. Still got some white. A lot of white, actually. All right. Add a little more. Oh, my real red is hard to open. Yes, and your hands get really, really dirty doing this. All right, so now I'm gonna let this really dry because now it's really, really, really wet. And then I'm gonna show you another trick I used. Okay, this turned out a lot of red. So, but what I did with the other one, wherever I laid, with this one, after I did all this and there were still white spots, I just took blends and I colored in the white. And I didn't have to color them in this much. I must have done way more ink, and it was just a couple of days ago. I just don't remember. So that's another thing you can do. Because if you just keep doing this over and over and over again, because obviously it takes water to mix the inks and everything, and more water, it's easier to tear the tissue paper. I like this tissue paper, and that's why I have a link to it and everything, because I had other tissue paper when I started doing this, and it tore all the time. And I just found this kind, and it just seems a little thicker. I mean, it's tissue paper, so it's not like it's thick, but it just seemed a little sturdier, I guess. Let's see. All right, so I'm getting it in there. And then I got lemon lime here. I'm not planning on using this whole paper, but all right, just got a couple more places. Looks very fall. And then the next step we have, which is gluing it, which is the messiest. All right. Okay, so careful with that. And oh, let's clean that off before, not that it really matters, but okay. So what I got here is I got a giant silicone mat. Now, Stampin' Up! Has their silicone mats, which I use all the time. I don't know. I use them all the time. I have about, I don't know, 50 of them. I mean, no, not really, but I mean, I have at least 10 or 12. And because you use Mod Podge with this, and I had glue all over everything, and that's what these are the best for, because you can put them on there and it comes off. Nothing, permanently sticks to it. So I found a bigger one and I'm using that just for this. All right, so here's my basic white, 8.5 by 11. And then here is this. And as you can see, it's a little bigger than 11, but it's, I guess, about 7 3/4 or something. So you are going to have that white space on there. So, but this is where this to me is the hardest part, because you're putting this glue down and then you're trying to put your tissue paper on there the best you can. So you're gonna glue up this part on the cardstock. Put a little too much on there, so I'm trying to take some of it off. Now, I will tell you, with my card, the one that I'm showing you, I decided, I was like, oh, I'm going to use the thick basic white underneath it. And it was great. It was solid. But man, cutting that frame out of that thick, because it's not just the paper, it's the tissue and the glue and everything else. It was really hard to die cut that stuff. Oh, see, one part already went down. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, glue on top. And this takes a while to dry. And this is, you want to be really careful when you're doing this too, because it will try and grab the edges of the tissue and pull them. So just go towards the edge, not pull away from the edge. Does that make sense? Like here's the edge here. Don't go this way because it's going to pull it up. Just go towards it. There's also the shiny Mod Podge. I have one of those, but I can't open it. I've had it forever, so I probably just need to go out and buy another one. But this tissue paper has kind of a sheen to it anyway, so, oh, see, I'm doing what I said not to do. Okay, now that's a lot of glue, and that is going to take some time to dry. So I am going to clean up a little, and then I'm going to show you some of my other cards and explain them to you. Okay, the main thing I wanted to do is I wanted to go rinse out my foam brush. Foam brushes are great. They're not that expensive, but I just felt like I was buying them all the time because if I just lay that down when it's full of Mod Podge glue, it doesn't take it long for it to dry, and then, you know, the brush is useless. So I try to, that's one of my main things I try to do is I try to rinse them off as soon as I can. I would love if I had a sink in my stamp room. I'm right next to the kitchen, so it's not a big deal, but it'd be really cool to have one in my stamp room. Okay, so again, here's this card. It's gonna look different when we're ready to die cut that. And that's the one that I shared with you. Now this, let's see. This one I did the entire background. It was all blue and I just cut it 4 by 5 1/4. Look at that. Is that not so cool? This is, even my husband really liked this card. And you can see I embossed it with the seashells embossing folder. Isn't that cool? I love it. Displayed, it looks really good. And then look at this cute card. How a little kid would love this card. I did more blues and greens. I did a little more blue. I had extra of this and I tried to put it on there and it just didn't look right with the sky that I made. The sky background is with vellum, your blends, and rubbing alcohol. Stampin' Up! Doesn't have vellum anymore, but there's vellum out there. Everybody has vellum, I think. I still have some Stampin' Up! And I found a different brand and I ordered them and it's very similar to the one that Stampin' Up! Had. But that's how I did the background. And this little wave was cut with the Gone Fishing ones. I just love this one. And then, so for the citrus blooms, these are 3 different dies. There's if you just put this on there, it die cuts this stuff, but there's no edge to it. So this part, this die right here cuts it out as a frame. And then you can see this part that's in the middle, it fits in there perfectly. So after I die cut this one, I had just that little piece of unused tissue paper and I die cut it again and I made this card, just a real simple get well card. Okay. So lots of ideas. I don't know. I made this and I was like, okay, that looks so good. I mean, and like I said, the leaves, I used the same of that. I'm just going to show you this. I just keep a little folder full of tissue paper that's been done. That's my tissue paper of how I made this and this one. This one right here is this one. And this, I have old stuff in here. Here's one that's some of that. This is, here we go. This was how these leaves and these leaves, that's how I did it. And what I did on this one was after, and I showed you that in the other video, I didn't do it on this, I did it on this one and this one and this one. I went over it with bronze embossing powder. Just did some Versamark on it just to give it some different, you can see it in the leaf. See how it's got some bronze in there? So that's another thing you can do with the tissue paper. I love that. This color reminds me, if you guys are Stampin' Up! People, it reminds me of Bermuda Bay, which I loved Bermuda Bay, and they retired it a couple of years ago. And this really reminds me of Bermuda Bay. But so anyway, so you can, if you're doing all one color or not just one color, but you know, if you're doing all blue or all red or all green or yellow or purple or whatever, you could just do it one time. But since this one, I have another sheet of this. I'm working on another card with what I had left over of this, but that's what I did. I did it step by step. I did green, then I did yellow, then I did orange. You know, because if you put all those on the page protector, if you put them all on and then you spray it with water, you mix it all together, it's going to be brown. So any colors like that, that's what's going to happen. So like I said, same color family, you can do it all at once. If you're doing something like this, then you're going to want to do it with one, let it dry, then do it with the next one, let it dry, like we just did. All right, I'm going to go see if the Mod Podge is dry, and then we'll die cut it and see what it looks like. Okay, that's what I wanted to show you was, okay, here's the rest. You can see I've die cut some other stuff out of it. I have a card over there, I don't know, 20% done. And I had put this on thick embossing. I'm sorry, it's thick basic white cardstock. This for the blue, I just used regular white cardstock. This is thick white cardstock. And when I die cut this part, this one, I'm not kidding. I was putting it through, pulling it back, putting it through, you know, going back and forth, back and forth. I'm not kidding. I think I did it 30 times and I finally got it where I could push all of them out. So when you have the real intricate dies like that, don't use thick cardstock. It obviously it eventually worked, but it was a job. So I would say, and that's what we just did. We just used regular cardstock on this one. So hopefully when we finish this card, I bring my die cut machine over here. Hopefully that will go a lot easier. Okay, it's mostly dry, so we can go ahead and cut it up and then die cut it. I think I'm going to put this more like over here so I get some of the green. This turned out a little differently than I thought it would, but we're going to die cut it and see what it looks like. Okay, so I already forgot because I cut it. Now I'm like, wait. All right, so I think I'm going to do it. Well, all right, so I'm going to try and do both of these at the same time. All the other times I did them one at a time, but I think maybe this will be a little easier. Or maybe not. You just want it to, you know what? All right, we're just gonna do it one at a time. So you gotta leave enough space around it so that the frame can get it too. All right. Now I'm gonna run it through a couple of times. Although this is not the thick paper, this is still, you just never know. All right. All right, let's take a look and see what it looks like. Oh, yeah, it got it. You can tell it got it. So yeah, that thick paper. Whew. All right. So like I said, see how it, like all this stuff will come out, but it doesn't, it's not going to come out. You know what I mean? It's like all the little pieces in here will come out, but that won't. You could do that on your card front, you know, and just have it like that. This is kind of hard to tell what it's going to look like, but this kind of die cut's easy. It'll get it on the first time because it's not as complicated as the other one. I'll just run it back so I can don't have to get it on the other side. All right. All right, so now it's out. Move this out of the way. gonna stop this so you guys don't have to watch me do this. It's not that bad. The paper is still, it's not wet, but it's just not completely dry, if you know what I mean. So I'll get all this out and then we'll see what it looks like. Well, I got some of it out. Sometimes the tissue paper will tear away from the paper. And so the paper doesn't come out, but the tissue paper comes out in those little spots. I had this happen with the other one too. So just sort of, yeah, I could have put this on an adhesive sheet, but it's not that hard to glue down. Here's one. I always have to look at the back to make sure that I got everything. I don't know, that looks kind of cool though, doesn't it? I mean, dang, I really like it. That's awesome. All right, some up there. All right. This is the Nature Sweetness paper. So pretty. And I already die cut a leaf. Oh man, that's gonna look pretty cool, isn't it? Where's the other one here? No, where is she? Over here. So totally different. I mean, very similar, but the color's totally different. I may not have happy birthday on this one. All right, let's glue it down. And oh, this is what I was going to show you. This is the middle thing. And so if you get it in there just right, as you can see, here, I'll show you. I got my die cut machine right here. I have to clean out that die because man, there's all kinds of pieces in the die. This one die cuts pretty easy. I don't know why this one does and the other one doesn't, but you could have used this middle for something else too, but there you go. More pieces to get out of there, but that's really pretty too. Use that for something else. And then you look at that, you use just about all of it. So that's always nice. I keep scraps of all paper. They have to be a certain size though. If they're, I don't even know what it is, but if it's like really small, then I won't keep it unless it's like on adhesive sheets or it's metallic paper like the silver or the gold or something. Then I keep that forever because you never know, you could have some little teeny tiny die cut you need to use it for. Okay, that's when you look at it like this, you're just sort of like, it's just like the one that I had for that one. You look at it and you're like, oh, that's nice. It doesn't look like anything you would want in a background. I mean, I guess there could be a background or something, but again, it's not that pretty on its own, but then when you die cut it, it really stands out. So, anyway, so that's how we do that. That's how you do the tissue paper when you're using more than one color family. So I just wanted to share that with you. I will have these other ones posted. That one's already posted. Oh, love that one. I want to hang that in my room. All these other ones, I'll have them posted sometime soon. And if you got any questions, let me know. I hope everyone's having a great day. See ya.